We will continue to talk about Prop 50, which, how do we, explain? Okay, I want to kind of explain what this is for, the dumbest person imaginable. How would you break down what Prop 50 is? Because it's a very easy vote. It's yes or no.
It's a very, very easy vote. And the funny thing is that this was all surrounding Texas's new proposed redistricting, right? However, what the Democrats care to leave out every single time they talk about this and tout voting yes on Prop 50 is that Democrat-led lawsuits are what's causing Texas to redistrict.
Okay.
So Texas is having to redistrict regardless, and they were intending on redistricting because of said lawsuits. And then, oh my gosh, President Trump has to tweet out or Truth Social out, find me 5 more seats. Not a strategic, policy position whatsoever. The president says crazy things on the internet all the time.
Yeah, we're used to it.
And they took this and said that this was a strategic move on the parts of
So they took
Texas.
it and ran with it.
They took it and ran with it, and now they're using that to redistrict here in California.
Yeah.
And to essentially get all the people that just hate Trump and will do anything to oppose Trump to vote yes on Prop 50. However, when the first version of the Assembly bill basically had it in there that California, if this was passed, California would only redistrict if Texas's proposed maps went into effect. So our maps would only go into effect if Texas's maps went into effect. It's really stupid because guess what? I care about California. I really couldn't care less about what Texas is doing.
Same. I don't care about any
California,
other state, really.
Because I live here. What Texas does really does not affect me in that way. I care about who's representing me in my state.
Yeah.
But so initially it was supposed to go into effect only if Texas redistricted.
It's very weird.
However, I believe it was literally the night before they did the final vote in the Assembly on the bill.
Yeah.
They rewrote it, and the maps are now going to go into effect regardless if Texas's maps go into effect. And now people are like, oh, it passed. It can still, Texas's maps passed, rather, but they can still be struck down by the court. So if they do happen to get struck down by the court, California's maps will still go into effect if Prop 50 passes.
And so obviously we're voting no on this.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you vote for anything in California, you usually vote no.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare.
So rare.
So rare.
If you don't know what this is,
always vote no.
Always vote no.
Always vote no.
It's safer to vote no.
It's probably something about raising your taxes, so that's also why you always want to vote no.
Exactly.
It's gonna even this is okay, so it's gonna cost. They were like, more money for firefighters? No. He shut that down immediately. Yeah. This is going to cost you money, so this will come out of our taxpayer dollars.
Oh, absolutely. Well, so no. The bill itself is going to cost the election, rather, is going to cost over $250 million. I believe it's actually confirmed it's supposed to cost $282 million.
Why does it cost so much money?
Great question.
Do they take bars of gold and engrave the bill into it? Because I don't understand how anything costs this much
I guess
money.
what? They should just take those bars of gold and give them to me.
And give them to the illegals who deserve them.
Right. Yes.
Okay? To the illegal, criminal, rapists that deserve those bars of gold, not the white Americans that live here and pay for all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
So vote no.
Vote no. But they also, the funny thing is that we're talking about how much it costs. They had an issue with the ballot distribution, I believe it was. And so it costs even more money to
Oh, yeah. I saw they did a mistake on the ballots, which you are also
paying for.
Now paying for because they made a mistake. Hold on. I want to look at this image. Spencer Pratt, our favorite. Only Governor Gavin Newsom would veto a wildfire prevention bill claiming it's too expensive and then blow money on Prop 50. So that's what this is. He was like, the total cost of his Prop 50 election to over $251 million.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny because this is kind of insane.
I also love that he did a press conference 2 weeks ago and was like, why isn't the administration giving us fire aid? We're going bankrupt and the federal government is not sending us fire aid. However, what we're going to do is spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a special election that the people no one wanted. No one asked for. The people didn't ask for. Everyone's comparing this to the recall election for Gavin
different.
Newsom.
We wanted that
because it was initiative by the people.
Yes.
This is our lawmakers saying that we want to steal power away from our citizens, and so we're going to redistrict. You have nothing to say about it, and just because everyone hates President Trump you guys are going to vote yes. And so
which,
the
by
rest
the way,
of us are going to get screwed because we're actually smart.
That's what's crazy about the messaging on this. So the Democrats for this have a very low budget because I've seen on TikTok, it's just a bunch of random people that are not, wealthy, successful. These are like random kids on TikTok.
They have a large budget.
And when they talk about it, they talk about Trump. That's all they talk about. So they go, Trump, vote yes.
But
I'm like,
but that's the entire shtick. That's all they need because all the Democrats in this state are just they hate Trump
just
so
anti-Trump.
much.
That's all they have to do.
It's just anti-Trump. It does not matter what they do. If it has to do with Trump, they are going to vote against it every single time. This redistricting literally has nothing to do with President Trump. Nothing to do with President Trump.
Yeah, it's us.
However,
Texas.
Well,
which doesn't even make sense.
It's us in Texas, which is stupid. And also, the Democrats are really dumb for picking this fight in the first place. If we really want to play this redistricting game, I'm personally against partisan gerrymandering myself.
Yeah.
However, with all the states that are trying to redistrict, regardless if both Texas and California's redistricting maps get passed, then the Republicans are still set to pick up at least 5 seats. And this is on the very conservative estimate. 5 seats. Up to, I think, 13 seats was the largest, the largest gain that I've seen. So it's this is a lose-lose for the Democrats anyways. They're just interested in I can't speak English, screwing over their constituents here in California.
Yeah. Which is California too. Is I hate to say it. I think we are the most corrupt state out of all of them. But I'm watching this and I'm they're smart the way they do the language. It's just very much hey, this is Trump bad. Sorry, we have videos for this. My bad, guys.
California, the whole nation is counting on you. Democracy is on the ballot November 4th. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. With Prop 50, you can stop Republicans in their tracks.
Do you think it's crazy they accuse us of rigging elections, even though literally every single shady thing that's ever occurred has happened under their watch, and we even know statistically it wasn't possible for Biden to win that election. Also, what they're doing with Prop 50 envelopes, where if you check no, you can see it checks no. But I'm do you not think it's weird that Obama's stepping into this when this is more of not a local thing, but this is California thing? So why is he stepping in?
Well, like I said, they have a large budget for marketing for this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they think that Obama's going to be this all-star that's going to help push it through. Obama's effectively irrelevant in political life. Really nobody cares.
Yeah, he's narrating Planet Earth.
Yeah. Honestly, the only time Barack Obama is relevant is when people are debating whether Michelle is a man
or not. That is the only time he's brought up in conversation. And he won't. It's kind of weird. Okay, you know what I always think about with that? This is very off topic, but just really quick. If I watched the world debating if my wife was a man, I would step in and be are you guys insane? But it's the fact that he doesn't step in and say anything and she doesn't defend it either. One pregnancy photo. Yeah. One test, DNA test, whatever it is. That's why I think it's so weird to be we're just gonna ignore this.
Ignore it. At least the Macrons are no, this is not true. They won't give any hard evidence,
that's
which is really, really funny. But at least they're fighting it in the public eye, which is really funny.
I'm excited to see what happens with that, actually. They're gonna...
Me too. But I do love that the Obamas just kind of ignore that this even happens. Because I guarantee you, if he just came out and was just said that this was a stupid...
The older he gets, he looks like Hussein. His real name. The older he gets, he literally looks like when they captured Osama bin Laden, when he was hiding in the cave for that long. That's who he's slowly turning into.